Excuse me.
Thank you. That is kind.
You're a soldier?
Long ago.
Do you mind? I'm Sam.
Please. Tell me, Sam, do you know the story of our slain king and his beautiful daughter, the Princess Isa?
I don't.
Well, you remind me of her.
Tell me what's going on.
I'm here to finish your training.
A little late for that.
One is never too old to learn, Snips.
All right. What's the lesson, Master?
Live? Or die?
I fear we lost some measure of our honor since that betrayal. I'm afraid our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died with that young girl.
I think I believe so you. I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
Okay, hello, and welcome to another episode of Batman's Watch Parties. Yeah, StreamYard cut out on me a little bit there. But anyways, time for another watch party. And tonight, we'll be watching Rebel Moon, Chapter 1, Chalice of Blood, the show support for our favorite director, Zack Snyder. And I'm going to put this up right now. So, like all watch parties, what I like to do is I like to talk for a little bit. Just give you guys time to get your Netflix ready, give time for people to trickle in a little bit. So, again, while we discuss, get your Netflix ready, turn the movie on, pause it at all zeros, and we will do a countdown. So, I'm not alone today. Please welcome, as I bring on my guest for tonight, the Curly Ray. How are you, man?
Yo, I'm feeling wonderful today. How are you, Bad Dan?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to watch one of my favorite movies to show support for Zack Snyder and show Netflix that, hey, you need to invest in Zack Snyder.
Yo, absolutely, man. This is a movie I absolutely love. Because we watched the other versions and I really liked them too. But once these were coming out, I actually got up at 4 o'clock my time to actually watch the director's cuts when they first came out. And yeah, man, I think it was worth, the early wake up to watch those. They were just, you know, fantastic in my opinion. I think they are the best movies of the year. And I'm just my favorite genre in sci-fi is, or my favorite movie genre, whether it be movies, games, or TV. My favorite is definitely sci-fi because I love Star Wars, I love Halo. You know, do also like Destiny. I'm not a big fan of what they did later on with it, but now like I like aliens, robots, and I think Zack Snyder, pulling off by doing this, sci-fi franchise and even building out this whole universe is just it's very impressive in my opinion because his style, the the tone, it's not like a bunch of goofy certain scenes. It's just like hey, this is more of a serious take on a certain sci-fi franchise, and I'm very excited to be here watching it with you, Bat Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really excited to have you. And look at what Sin Havoc's saying right here. The director's cuts, they made the top 10 in all time. I think it's all time streaming originals. That's what I think this top 10 is, right?
Yes, exactly. It is streaming originals. That is, I
Oh,
believe
go on.
it. I believe it right there. That's, it's been trending, on Netflix, 100%. It may not have been trending in the United States, but hey, one thing people might have forgot, Netflix is global. They are international. So they're counting that much views that they're getting that is worldwide. So for the US, it doesn't matter if they're not in the top 10. The fact that they've been trending all other places in the world, that's what really matters. And that's where all the views are coming from.
Exactly. And what people also need to remember with that too is that the studio cuts already made the top 10. Netflix got their money. They got their profit with Zack Snyder. The only way for the director's cuts to be a real failure is if they somehow got negative views for Netflix. That's the only way the director's cuts could possibly fail for Netflix. But no, the studio cuts did phenomenal. Netflix is happy with Zack Snyder, and you see here, slow burn, the director's cuts, because I think what people need to realize is that a lot of people weren't in a hurry to see the director's cuts because to them, they already saw the movie. A lot of people are like, well, I already saw this movie. I'm not in a huge hurry to see it again. This wasn't
Exactly.
it's also not Justice League where most people knew it was a different movie. This is like, no, I mean, yeah, this is definitely a different movie, but a lot of the same stuff, like a lot of the basic plot lines still happens with some, again, this is definitely a different movie. Like there's a whole opening sequence that's different with this one. But yeah, this is, as Sin Havoc said, slow burn. Netflix has a gold mine with Zack Snyder. And again, I want to emphasize people, no, Army of the Dead universe is not canceled, okay? That is a fake news that a fake account not actually affiliated with Netflix reported.
Yeah, that account, it's definitely a fake on account. I saw that and I was just like, blocked instantly. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And another thing is, Netflix just had a whole Worlds of Zack Snyder event where when those director's cuts came out, it was pretty much packed. It was pretty good. There were a lot of people there. Now, I wasn't there. I know I shouldn't really say a lot, but you look at the crowd, you look and see what Josh Herrera's been showing us. There were a lot of people, man. They were all happy there too.
Yeah. And a lot of women there too, surprisingly. Because I heard that it was all men there, that there were barely any women there. But that video I saw had a lot of women there.
Yeah, there were women in that video. They talked about how dope the director's cuts were, so they must have had to watch it.
Exactly. They watched it. There were females there. And now I kind of want to talk about another thing that came out. So again, as a reminder, people, get your Netflix ready, get to all zeros. Just another reminder. And we'll get started, I think, in about 10 to 15 minutes. I always I give a lot of time for people to come in and get their accounts ready. But there's something else I want to talk about. So before we do that, where is it? Where do we go? Okay, here we are. We're going to quickly switch backgrounds real quickly because I want to talk about a certain article that came out today that I'm going to be honest. I heard about it at work, but I was at work, so I didn't really have time to really read it. And then hit the gym, took a shower. So I didn't really read it till pretty much just now, to be honest with you. But we're talking about the article by Brad Curran about why selling the Snyderverse to Netflix is a good idea. I guess we'll start with you, the Curly Ray. What were your thoughts on that article?
Well, reading through it, as I'm reading through it, there's certain things, there's certain lines that, I had to highlight because, there's certain parts where how he pretty much talks about how Cell is pretty much like, it's working just like how the release of Sayaka hashtag did. And the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery's, stock is completely plummeted to the ground. I want to say it's around that 600. I can look it up. WBD stock. Wow. Oh, it went up to $7.24 US dollars. But either way, it's still pretty low. And what makes a lot of sense is because, like I said, WBD stock is completely low right now, and they are desperate for money. So this gives out a huge opportunity to sell off these IPs like they did with Batman Cape Crusader, which is on Prime Video right now, and also a lot of other properties. I heard we were getting the Scooby-Doo movie on Netflix. We're getting all these Max originals on Netflix. Like, they're desperate. So he pretty much goes into details like that in the article. And he even does mention Restore and talks about how Restore hasn't really done a whole lot, I wouldn't say he said that exactly, but he talks about how it was immediately after, they did the Restore movement, but then, it turns out that the Restore hashtag, wasn't really the biggest. It wasn't the biggest hashtag, that was, working out. So they decided to go with Cell. That's what he basically describes in the article. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I will put the article in the description after the stream. So if you're watching this on replay, link to the article is in the description, unless you're literally watching it the second after I'm done, after the stream. But anyways. Exactly. And it's what I said with Restore, is that Restore didn't really have, its goal wasn't really clear. And I think that was the biggest issue with Restore, is that, again, we had Cavill returning. Cavill was back. People boycotted for some reason. I mean, their big argument, well, Zack's not back yet. Zack's busy doing Rebel Moon. Why wouldn't you want Warner Brothers Discovery to do what they can to restore the Snyderverse while we wait to get Zack back? But no, they put their egos in front of the actual mission. That's the reality of what happened, and I will say that to my dying breath. But again, I think this article really does also highlight that WBD needs this. Like, that's the thing. WBD needs cash. Their stocks, as you said, they're low. The stocks are low. I mean, ironically, as the article pointed out, the last time it was high as 77 something, around $77, was actually, ironically, when the Snyder Cut came out, when the Snyder Cut was out. That's the funny thing about that.
The stocks went high up, bro. It
$77.27. $77.27. Yeah,
and it just dropped to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, the fight for the Snyderverse should have been over after the Snyder Cut released on Netflix. That should have been the end of all the hashtagging. That should have been the end. After that movie came out, that's when we should have gotten the Ayer cut announcement, the Batflick movie announcement, Man of Steel 2. I mean, heck, you could have even waited on the sequel announcements. Just give some of these spin-off announcements. That's what any good company would have done. But they didn't. And Warner Media, Warner Brothers Discovery, they put egos above the mission, and the stocks are low right now. I mean, Zaslav does not have a choice. I'm going to say this again. David Zaslav, you do not have a choice. This is easy money for you. Okay? Easy money. And as the article also points out, this will close the book on the Snyderverse chapter, on like the Snyderverse fans, because we will have gotten the conclusion we asked for. I mean, there'll always be more. People will always want a little more, but I think when you finish the story and it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, most Snyderverse fans will shut up. And when DCU, whether it succeeds or fails, it's judged on its own merits, not people wanting the Snyderverse.
Yeah, here's the thing about that too is like you said, Bad Dan, they just need to let Zack Snyder, finish out his whole arc and be done with it. And here's the thing, once they do that, what they need to work on is Justice League 2 and 3. Now, here's the thing here. If they make Justice League 2 and 3, but if they can't make anything else, that don't really make me mad because hey, we at least got those movies out there and we got to see the conclusion of that story. Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to see Man of Steel 2. I'm not saying I don't want to see Ben Affleck's solo movie. I want to see Ben Affleck's solo movie desperately. That movie, to me, needs to be made.
Yeah.
And the only way it's going to get made is it's probably going to be made over at Netflix. But here's the thing about that.
Also, real quick, happy birthday, Ben Affleck.
Yes, happy birthday, Ben Affleck. You are the best Batman of all time.
And sorry, I cut you off there. Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Ben Affleck, at first, originally then, because I loved reading The Dark Knight Returns. That's my favorite Batman comic, so far. And, when I'm watching Batman vs. Superman, there are just, things, if you just look at those small little details, like where Batman's, helping out Martha, saving Martha in that warehouse fight scene, and he's holding the gun, and, he has to do something to save Martha. That scene right there is strictly taken out of the comic books. Out of that comic book in particular, The Dark Knight Returns. For anyone that hasn't read it, you should read it, guys. It is a very great comic. Even though I'm pretty sure everyone in here has read it, but I still think for everyone that hasn't read it, y'all should, man. And that's one of the, I think that was one of the biggest influences that Snyder, took for Ben Affleck's Batman, and that's why I really, that's why I really like Ben Affleck's Batman, bro. He is the Batman. And his movie needs to be made over at Netflix. And here's the thing about that too. Even if it does, if Zack Snyder needs to work on, Rebel Moon, hey, you can do Justice League 2 and 3, and then they can have someone else, someone that actually cares about these characters, work on Ben Affleck's solo Batman film. You get what I'm saying, Bat Dan?
Yeah, well, you know who was actually supposed to direct Ben Affleck's Batman solo film?
Matt Reeves.
No.
Wait.
Before Matt Reeves was involved, who was the original director for Ben Affleck's Batman?
Ooh.
You didn't know? Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, Ben Affleck was back when Warner Brothers had that movie on the slate. Ben Affleck was supposed to direct that movie.
Oh, snap. I'm sorry. I actually did not even know that. I'm just now knowing that. I did not know that. I did not know that, Bad Dan. Holy crap. I'm sorry, y'all. I I'm just now knowing this. But yeah,
Yeah.
then they
Ben
had
Affleck.
Matt Reeves bring out Robert Pattinson. I'm like, sorry about that, but just we need Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie, and Ben Affleck is over at Netflix. So what you said, what you're just talking about, how Ben Affleck was going to direct that, he could direct that over at Netflix. Ben
Yeah.
Affleck would say absolutely.
Exactly. And actually, what the funny thing is, the article, they mentioned the few other projects they mentioned Netflix doing aside from ZSJL 2 and 3, David Ayer Suicide Squad, Black Adam's Superman, Henry Cavill, Superman v. Black Adam movie, and Ben Affleck's Batman movie.
Could you imagine seeing Henry Cavill fight Dwayne Johnson's like Black Adam? That would have been absolutely sick, bro. But what are we getting? We're getting, let me think. Are we getting Creature Commandos? We get Superman L. Trash. I'm sorry.
Trash.
We're getting food in the trash can. That's what we're getting. Garbage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the only hope for DC is Cell. And thank you for stopping by, Qatar. Bit of a cough. And people need to remember, with Cell, though, ZSJL is its own IP. That's the big thing. And that is the one thing the article doesn't quite get right, is that ZSJL, and it's a minor nitpick, so I'm not really faulting the article, but ZSJL is its own IP. Zack Snyder's Justice League is not part of the DCEU. That is a common misconception. The Snyderverse is separate from the DCEU. The only movie that's part of both universes is Man of Steel. Because even Batman v Superman has two different versions. The theatrical version, DCEU. The Ultimate Edition, Snyderverse. The only movie that plays double duty is Man of Steel. It's a little confusing with the Flash film, but other than that, those three movies are its own IP. So that makes the licensing so much easier, because basically the article was concerned what would Zack Snyder have the rights to. To me, I say anything that's been introduced in those three movies, Zack Snyder should be allowed to use, in my opinion. That's for this licensing deal. That's what I would say, is that if it's in those three movies, Zack Snyder can use it.
Well, there is one part in the article that does talk about how, they wouldn't technically sell the rights to ZSGL, but they're giving it more to a license. Unless it's like, because I'm thinking about it this way, I don't think they would make ZSGL like a Netflix original IP. It would be that, they get the rights, the streaming, and then ZSGL 2 or 3 are Netflix original films. That's how I see it.
Well, exactly, yes. Is that Netflix would have the rights to stream the first three movies, and then, they would have the right to produce more films in that universe. And the Emerald Edition, too. Now, I'll be honest, I go back and forth what I want with the Emerald Edition. Like, part of me goes, Emerald Edition. But part of me wants the Green Lantern scene to actually be incorporated in ZSJL 2. Just because I'm thinking about the general audience here, and so many of them have already seen the Snyder cuts. But again, I go back and forth on that one.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the Emerald scene. How I think it could work out is like, so we had, Martian Manhunter at the end of ZSJL. But with the Green Lantern scene, it could work. It definitely could work for ZSJL 2. It could be like, them coming down to, it could come, what I'm trying to say is, it could be that scene like we were supposed to get, and it's John Stewart telling Bruce like, hey, he's almost here. We gotta get prepared. Or it could be that scene, but in a different approach, where if he's at his house and John Stewart's there, and then parademons are already heading to Earth, and they see him up in the sky. Unless there's a different approach with that. with that meetup.
Well, yeah, and Sin Havoc says too. I mean, both Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. And see, that's the other reason why. Because I wouldn't want Harry Lennox's scene to be completely cut either, because that's not completely fair to him either. So that's why, I mean, either the scene to be incorporated in ZSJL2 or maybe even an ending that has both Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter. So, yeah, so anything else from this article that was brought up that you want to cover?
That was pretty much it for now. That was just a little one. That's just a little one thing I wanted to bring up. That was just the one. I just saw something. There was some line I just had to highlight because it just kind of seemed a little bit fishy to me. How like, oh, it's not technically its own. It wouldn't technically sell and all that, but it does. It does. I think it does make sense. For definitely makes sense for him to license it because WBD is in low debt right now, and this would definitely, give Netflix the opportunity to, let Zack Snyder finish his DC story arc over at Netflix.
Exactly. And fans would be more, I think a lot more fans would be willing to embrace the DCU. Not us necessarily, but a lot of others would be willing to embrace the DCU if the Snyderverse actually gets its conclusion. Just like a lot of people were willing to accept the new Batman after Christian Bale because Christian Bale's story was done. It was over after Dark Knight Rises. And just so people know, we'll go about 3 more minutes and then we'll get the countdown ready. So that's another thing to consider too. So yeah, Cell is a great thing. And again, who cares about license versus Cell? I mean, if you can spell license correctly, then go ahead, use license all the time if you want to. But me, I cannot spell license like that. So we'll go with Cell.
Absolutely. Cell has actually, made progress. It's gotten us here this far. We've made so much progress for doing this. We've been able to do watch alongs. We've been able to make posts, about certain figures that have been coming out. We've been able to go to events. They've done theatrical showings of Rebel Moon. Like, with her story, like you said back then, it just wasn't really it didn't feel like a huge message. But with Cell, it makes more sense because, like I said, WBD is in low debt and they are desperate for money. So it makes sense for them to do this, even when they're licensing out their other properties, their other shows over their other platforms like Prime Video, Netflix. Absolutely. Cape Crusader. And I'll say there's something else. Oh, yeah, that Scooby-Doo show. Not only that, now they did this before, WB merger, but they also have, the Sandman. They got Sweet Tooth. Now, I know those licenses were done before them, but, that doesn't mean they can't. Exactly. That still means they can license out stuff.
And Lucifer, a show that actually needed to be saved, ended on a cliffhanger, and Netflix brought it back to finish the story properly with 3 more seasons. So, point is, Cell can happen. There's a precedent, and now, guys, and we can still definitely talk more once the movie starts, but we're going to get started very soon. So before we'll get started, pretty much right now. So, Curly Ray, you ready?
I sure am, Batman.
Okay. Just got to get my headphones on so the movie doesn't turn on. So we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. What up, Integrity? We just started the movie.
Hey, what's up?
Which actually, let me just switch this real quick. See, seeing this scene at first, I think that was the biggest shock to me because this just wasn't in the movie at all. There was no version of this scene in the movie. This just was in
Yeah, you don't have Jimmy talking. It's just this certain scene right here. I love the walkers they have in Rebel Moon. You know what they kind of remind me of? I don't know if you played Destiny, but they kind of look like the walkers from Destiny that the Fallen used.
I've never played that game before.
The first game, I like the first game. The second one wasn't bad either. They just made it so like, ugh, I really don't want to talk about it. But I do
That's
like the
fine.
first game though.
Oh, just that look right there with Noble. I'm sorry, just that look that Noble has. He just looks like 10 times more evil than any scene in the studio cut.
Yeah, no, I know he did seem really mean in the studio cuts, but in these cuts, bro, you see how evil the Mother World really is, and even scary too, because the scribes. Well, I'm not going to talk about the scribes. I won't wait for everyone to get in here or let everyone watch the scene for themselves.
Yeah, just in case there's anyone in here watching, or even if someone on replays watching and hasn't seen the movie. So we'll wait till. Yeah, and Cassius has a much bigger role in this version because I felt like in part one, Cassius was barely in it. I didn't even know his name, honestly.
Yeah, he does have. Yeah, I think he has a huge role in this too. I don't remember. Well, I can't talk about it just yet. I'm gonna wait until it gets that scene, but yeah, I felt like it wasn't a. I only remember him like in the ship in the King's Gaze. That's how much I remember him being in.
Yeah, but it's like this one, he has a much bigger role and just so much is added. And it's so funny. So this guy that we see shooting right now, I didn't even recognize him until he said his name, and then I'm like, oh, it is. Which, if you know, you know.
That's the thing about other thing about it too. The weapons. If you they really took. Because I've been reading the cosmetology and technology book. This is no spoilers or nothing, but they took they kind of took inspirations from like old submarines during World War II in the 50s for the King's Gaze, because that one like in the King's Gaze where Brett Culbert's in the area and he's controlling the cannons, which the cannons do have a name for anybody that doesn't know, called the Sword of the King. Those are that's the name of the cannons on the King's Gaze.
Oh.
Yep. And they took for certain parts in that room where they're all in there controlling those cannons. They took parts from old machines and stuff from the 20s and the 30s, and even during you know submarines and planes from World War II. And that's where they really and you could probably tell they took a lot of stuff, old parts, to make it similar or to make it fit in for the Mother World. Kind of like how George Lucas, and I know Star Wars was made back in the 70s, but you look at the weaponry, it looks really really old. They designed the guns to make them look kind of similar to the some of the ARs from World War II. And I think they do the same thing here, but they kind of make it look a little bit more modern in a way, if you know what I mean. If you look at the Motherworld soldiers, you look at their designs, their magazines or helmets and all that. These look like modern day soldiers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Man, that guy kicks ass. That guy
Dang,
exists. And I think that's the thing. Star Wars, Rebel Moon, when the original movies each came out, they came out based on the time around the era that they came out in. That's what they based off, because that's what the general public could relate to. And okay, this part right here is Like, I was so shocked at this part. At first,
I was not expecting this, bro.
well, at first I thought they unintentionally dropped their pet. I didn't realize that they. Oh God, this scene right here.
Yeah, this is where I was. This is the one scene where I was like, "Yo, you can't. You do not want to watch this movie in front of your kids."
Yeah, but I mean, I do like this scene though because I think it's realistic about how stuff like this would be. I mean,
Exactly.
bad guys are bad guys, people. Okay, that's just that's how it is. They're not. And in like wars, I'm sure that a lot of the bad guys did stuff like this. But yeah, this scene right here, talking to the pets, and again, it shows how pets are loyal to their family. I mean, this one's clearly intelligent, but could you just imagine like sending your dog or something to do what this creature's about to do, just to save the entire family? And
I know in World War One, and I think in World War Two, I think they might still do this, but I think they sent out. I think they had message dogs, but there were. I do also think they had some suicide dogs. I don't really know that for sure,
oh God,
but I do know for one fact that they did use some dogs or something. That's why I think I'm not very sure. So don't just kind of take that with a grain of salt.
okay. What up, Sean Franklin?
What's up, Sean? And here's that scene.
All right. I mean, especially I think one big thing advantage that Rebel Moon has right now is the sci-fi genre is not doing that well right now. Look at Star Wars, #Justice for Fives, but Star Wars ain't doing well right now. People are sick of Star Wars.
I am too, bro. Like Star Wars is, to me, it's dog water now. Like now, this Rebel Moon, this is what I like.
Yeah, and it's something original, and Zack Snyder has a plan, a beginning, a middle, and an end. For like you're talking for DC, it's the same to Rebel Moon. He has an endgame. He has a 6-movie plan.
Absolutely.
I love how Noble's acting like he cares about culture. It's like, dude, you don't give a shit about culture. Just shut up.
He's just talking about their culture, but then he's knowing good and well that, you know, they might destroy it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I love though with Rebel Moons. Like, just finish the story. Like, I want like his 6-movie plan. I just want to see if we only got 6 movies and nothing else. I'd be like, you know what? Was that Zack Snyder's plan? Yes. Okay, then that's all I need. But I'm happy to get spinoffs like the Shenectol. Like, that's what you call it, the Shenectol. I've only
The Cinescale, or the Shenishal. Episode 3 came out of that podcast. I still need to listen to that. I've just been like really busy at work, but I did listen to the second episode over the weekend. I'm not going to talk about it, but there's something I'm thinking about talking about it on my channel when I get whenever Rebel Moon Theory is ready to go. Which, by the way, a trailer that I made for that little teaser trailer is dropping on my YouTube channel for Rebel Moon Theory on Tuesday, Tuesday is the day where they're having Gamescom. So that's where Netflix Games is going to be at. So I figured, hey, I'm going to show off a teaser trailer for Rebel Moon Theory right before Gamescom.
Yeah, and we'll get to that very soon. I just want to this scene right here, and yeah, I mean, but definitely after the scene, get more into that because I definitely want to hear more. But Noble here, damn, this is to me, this is one of Noble's most savage moments.
Yeah, this is how ruthless this scene will show you how ruthless he is.
And like what would you? I mean, it's hard to say. Like if you were in Eris's position, how many of us wouldn't say that they would do the same thing that he did? I mean, as far as you're concerned, your father's going to die no matter what you do. So, in some ways, it's like, who wouldn't want to save the rest of their family at least? But that it's like you have to be the one to do it. So that's
Yeah. It's like, it's not only that, but even, you most likely know that your family could also die no matter what direction you take, which is the craziest part about it.
exactly. And see, when you said Eris right there, I was like, oh shit, this is Eris. But it actually explains his backstory so much more now. But
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when I was watching this, I was thinking, like, who is that? And then he said his name. I was like, oh snap, it's him. Hold up real quick. I'm going to be muted for a second.
okay. What to do? What to do? But yeah, it makes sense because, like, with what happens with Eris in the studio cut, this makes more like his motivation just makes a lot more sense. Your own father telling you to kill him. But it's like it's hard to do because it's either he kills his father or he doesn't kill his father, but then as a result he indirectly kills his mom and sisters.
All right, I'm back. Let me see here. All right, there we go. My bed's a little bit messy, but
Yeah, that's okay.
when it gets to the tile screen, there is something I want to show you. I don't know if I showed you it. I don't know if you may have seen it, but I do want to show you something that you might like. I'm curious what that mark on Noble's cheek is, what it means.
I wonder that Sinhav, do you know?
I don't know if that's to do with him, like, having these robotic parts inside of him.
Huh, Curse to Forgiveness. It's the next movie, but lots of forgiveness in this.
Oh. Oh.
Like, they're just so sadistic. Like my God.
I feel bad for Ares, bro.
Yeah, same here.
Oh yeah, there's another book coming out. I forgot what it's called. Let me look it up. It's like that other one we got back in April. I've already
The Tea
pre-ordered mine.
People.
Hmm.
The teeth people. The priest.
Yep.
It's so funny. I was watching the Bat channel, and when they were doing this part, this is what Super Bowl Corey went. He's like, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Which I don't know. It's the Acolyte. Like,
It's the Heroes and Monsters book. This one right here. That one. That's the one that's
hold
coming
on.
out.
Let's pull it back up a second.
Yep. That one
Okay.
right there. I hope nothing on my phone showed up.
What exactly is this supposed to be exactly? It's like they're just like celebrating all their kills.
I'm curious what happens if they finish that box.
Yeah, exactly. Do they just build another one? Or maybe they just stop killing people. Maybe they're like, okay, we killed enough people.
I hope none of my information showed up on the screen, but it's whatever, I guess. I don't think it did. I should have thought about it first. Let me go back and check real quick. Nah, it was nothing. It's fine.
See, and that's what you wonder too. Like, Noble actually seems to have an ability here to like read minds.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying about that. I feel like I don't think he's really. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I feel like he's some kind of cyborg or something. But
He definitely is. He's definitely part human, but you literally see robotic parts in him. With the brain.
yeah, like in the back of his skull. Yep.
Like, I think he's a human with robot implants.
Could possibly be that way. He's kind of like an exohuman, if you know what I mean. Not like a full-on like cyborg like the Terminator, but just like maybe like an exohuman with like, this highly technologic abilities, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hyperhumans. Yes. I'm thinking of that one character from Terminator Dark Fate.
I haven't seen Terminator.
Which one? The new one or like
pretty much any of them?
Oh, they're pretty good. My favorite one is for me it's either the second one or Salvation.
Wow. Noble killed them anyways. Eris killed his father for nothing.
There is no honor in you. You're right. There isn't. Boom!
Okay, so this Rebel Moon theory, tell me a little bit more about that you're starting on your channel.
Well, but what I've been doing recently is, what I have been doing, because I know this is going to be it's very important for me to do before I start off the series, is, I've been reading something in my head. I've been reading the books. I've been reading the cosmology and technology book. That way I can learn a lot more about the ships, the weapons, and, even the characters, the planets. And this next book that's coming out, this next, material book that's coming out, Heroes and Monsters, I get to learn more about Korra, Nemesis, the Blood Axes, and even possibly Princess Issa if we do learn more about her. Because I do have a theory about her that I do want to talk about on the channel, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet, because I want to wait on the Sin Scale to get done and Twilight of the Gods to come out, because you never know. There could be some tiny little piece of Rebel Moon lore in Twilight of the Gods, especially since they are connecting.
Yeah.
And currently right now, I'm just thinking of all these ideas I could use, for this series. Because if I have one idea, that one idea could get debunked and I'm screwed. But there is one thing I'm going to start off on my series on Rebel Moon Theory that I think is going to be the most important one, but I'm not going to get into what that's going to be. I want it to kind of be a surprise for y'all to look at. But these videos are going to be, I can't tell you, I have an interesting tone I'm going to take when it comes to these videos. They're not going to really feel like, other typical, Star Wars theory or, talkabouts or breakdowns. It is going to be like that, but in a tone that I think fits perfectly in for Rebel Moon, especially after watching these director's cuts, because I think there are certain scenes in these films that I think, show me that, hey, this tone, this feeling or the tone could work perfectly, for these Rebel Moon videos because it could fit in that way. So that's what I plan to do. And I think whenever I get a couple more, teasers out there, you guys might get an idea of where I'm going to take with Rebel Moon Theory.
Okay.
And, right now, one thing I have been doing too is I have been doing reviews on, the merchandise that's been coming out. Like, for example, we got the figure back clips. I got Jimmy, and then I got another Jimmy right here. Yeah, two Jimmys.
Reindeer Jimmy.
Yep. This one's the one without the antlers is a lot greener. This one's a little darker green. It's like a little brown color. And I also got...
Oh, that looks just like Brad Cage from Army of Thieves.
Interesting.
See, this is another, this is like the first, actual alternate scene from the studio cuts.
This is the line, bro.
Yeah, I love.
Like he just outright says that, like, let's.
And then when his wife basically grabs him in public. Yep. Then he looked away. Gunner looked away.
The thing about it is, too, I'm missing 3 of these figure back clips. I'm missing Tarek, the Imperial drop-off ship, and a Motherworld soldier. That's it. I've been trying to find them on eBay, but, I couldn't find any because I'm, trying to kind of save up on money. But I've been getting them through Hot Topic with the back clips. This is probably beside the Jimmy one. It's also, look at the scribes. Look how they're designed. If I can get it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
This is my favorite. I think this is the best merchandise they made for Rebel Moon. And you can get some other ones. I also got Venus, the flying creature.
Oh, yeah, the Griffin.
Yep. Right here. Got that right there, too. There we go. It's pretty cool. There's another one. Oh, here's Armada. Look at that.
Oh, cool.
Got that right there, too. I like all the details on there. I'm waiting for some more Funko Pops. Oh, what's up?
I have a quick rant I just want to kind of get out. People are saying that they hate this scene or that the scene was unnecessary or whatever. But no, I feel like the scene's really important because, one, you see Cora's body. You see all these scars on her body. So that alone tells you how, gives you a backstory. It's like, wow, she's been through battle. To have all that on her body. But also, it shows, I think it was Zodrider who pointed this out. It shows the contrast between when she actually likes someone and loves someone and when she just lusts someone paraphrasing what he said, but I think it's important because here, this is purely just for the act, just to do it. But she doesn't love him. He's just, again, she just enjoys him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like she's just, doing it to feel good, not to actually have an emotion or a feeling for, the person that she's doing, if you know what I mean. I don't want to go into, deep far with
Yeah.
that, but yeah, it's just, let's just say it's just a scene that, makes sense for the plot.
Exactly. I mean, and it's funny if you notice that, like, her hair's over her eyes, even. It's like, basically, she's the most into it when she's not even looking at him.
Exactly. See, look on her arm. Look on her arm. What is that?
Oh, yeah.
That is something interesting. Yo, I'm so happy you get to meet Sophia Botello this weekend, Bad Dan.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited, too. I'm going to have her sign one of my Cell shirts.
Yeah, I ordered another shirt. I ordered this other shirt that the good Austin cooked up because but except I got it in white this time. I got
did the
into a
same
white
thing, too.
color.
Because I'm going to have her sign my Nobody's Pawn shirt. And once I have her sign that, I'm not going to wear it again.
Yep. Oh yeah, something else. I still have not ate through this. I also have the Imperial Drop-Off Ship popcorn bowl.
What up, Leon?
What's up, Leon, the new
Thanks
geeks?
for stopping by.
What's going on?
And a timestamp for anyone joining right now, we are approaching, hold on a second, 28 minutes and we'll say 20 seconds. I'll go about 10 seconds out. So,
Whenever Rebel Moon, whenever A Child of Fire was coming out, I was about to put some popcorn in this bowl because you can open it up like that. Like you have to open the top off. And I got some butter popcorn. And I was looking through my plate. None of the butter was on the popcorn. It was literally leaking on the plate. And all the butter was about to get into this bowl. I was like, oh shit. I gotta put it up. I was like, oh man, I couldn't eat through the bowl. But that's when I knew, hey, these bowls are meant to eat with the Rebel Moon Indian popcorn.
yeah, I mean, if I could even have those bowls at all, again, more merchandising for Rebel Moon.
There is some. Another thing is, too, Bad Dan, we got more action figures coming out next month. We got Jimmy with the Antlers, Cora, General Titus. I think we got Noble coming out, but I'm definitely be getting those. And there's another Nemesis figure coming out, but it's with her in the village where she's using the blades for the first time. That outfit, and I don't think it's some plastic minifigure. It's an actual statue where you can place it on your shelf, and it looks so good. Let me look it up, and I'm gonna see if I can find it.
See, I like a little detail, though. I love how they say seasons. I like how they don't say years, because it's like Star Wars, too. What is a year exactly? On the planet Earth, a year is the rotation around the sun. But, what is a year there? Is it their planet's rotation around the sun? Do all the planets rotate around their nearest sun at the exact same time, at the exact same length as Earth?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. I'm not really sure. Okay, this is for pre-orders still. This. Yep, this right here. Okay.
Bruce Vane. The Bruce Vane guy.
This. That's what I want.
Hold on a second. Let me just.
That right there. That's the statue I want. It's not available yet, but that's the statue I'm planning to get whenever it's available.
Cool.
Pretty dope.
Yeah. Okay, this again, it's just another little scene with Gunnar and Cora right there. You can tell those two like each other. It's so obvious.
They're looking each other in the eyes. They're not like looking down every time. Like they're like having eye to eye contact. Like, okay. And I also got these two, but I hadn't opened them yet. These aren't Lego minifigures; they're called mini mites. But I'm keeping them in the box for right now. I might get some more, but that's what they look like close up. But hey, we could probably get Lego Rebel Moon. I'll be getting those in a heartbeat, and I'll be building them.
Yeah. See, I love how they establish a bit of a friendship with Cora and Sam for a later scene.
That's the other thing is like I'll see people in the timelines talking about how Sammy is possibly like Princess Issa, but
I think that was pretty much debunked in Rebel Moon Part 2.
yeah, I definitely think it was too, but that's something I'll definitely talk about on the channel. I've even seen concept art of the King's Gaze or the Dreadnoughts. They look a little bit different. Like there's like a metal cannon looking thing at the bottom of it, and then more of like to the top of the ship.
Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Thank you, Integrity. I really appreciate it. Wait, I have 500 subs now? Wait, what?
Let's check it out.
Oh, which of course is inevitable. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Well, I'm gonna pull a Mikey Sutton real quick, get some water.
Alrighty. It's about to get crazy.
Okay, that boy that you see a lot more in Part 2, I swear it's a different actor than the studio cuts. Like I don't know why he just looks different to me.
I'll have to look. I'll have to do my research on that. But the other thing is too, there's not music in this scene. There was music for the scene in the studio cuts.
Yeah, but I think in this, I think it really works without music. Like, it's always great when you actually do an intense scene without music.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sounds that these ships are making, like I hear that I remember hearing that in the Rebel Moon Roblox game mode. I'm like, what is that? And then here he comes. Oh, and that scene where they're all landing, while the drop-off ships are landing. they're actually for anyone that doesn't know, those were actually helicopters that made all that dust fly around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they got like, I remember like watching the making of Rebel Moon. Uh, they got like upset over that Zack Snyder had to make that they had to sit through all that dust, and they had to do it like more than once. And they had like a bunch of dust in their eyes. It was crazy.
Wow.
And oh, I love
This
it.
this context with Noble is so different now that you've seen the first scene, because in the studio cuts, this is the introduction to his introduction in the movie. So you don't really
Yep.
know too much about Noble yet, but now it's like you know that Noble's capable of. He's not.
And you know how Eris is really now, like how, why he's the way he is.
Yeah, exactly. Because you wonder, he seems like he's a good guy, and you wonder how did he end up in the Mother World in the first place. But this actually makes sense.
I'm waiting for some of these spin-offs to come out, like these animated spin-offs and comic spin-offs. Like I heard we're getting a spin-off of Nemesis. And I think the person that wrote the Blacks comic is writing that as well.
And it's like too. I mean, especially with like ZSJL 2 and 3, they could still keep the Rebel Moon hype alive while Zach works on ZSJL 2 and 3 with a spinoff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, he could be doing Justice League 2 and 3 while they do all these, spin-offs. And then maybe after ZSJL 2 and 3, Zack Snyder can go back to Rebel Moon.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Honestly, after ZSJL 2 and 3, I'm finding Zack Snyder never does DC again. I mean, yes, I would like to see the Dark Knight Returns adaptation because
Oh yeah,
Zack wants to
absolutely.
do it. But to me, that's less time sensitive as ZSJL 2 and 3.
And that's like how with like Nolan, how like he doesn't really want to do superhero movies that much. Not saying he necessarily wouldn't want to, but if you look at the state of how these studios are and all that stuff, not listen to your true fan bases, he doesn't want to deal with that.
Exactly. And Nolan told the story he wanted to tell. And this right here, you see how they say, do the work by hand. Very interesting.
Yep.
That's critics of and that was in the studio cut too. And certain criticism of the studio cut for part 2. Watch the movie, people. Watch the movie. The stuff is explained.
I think I left a comment about that during the watch along on Sky's channel for chapter 2. Like, hey, they build a bond by doing the work together. But I brought that up because there's some people saying like, why couldn't they just get their little robots to do it? I'm like, well, like he just said right there. You read that line, that tells you why. Another thing is too, the filters. Did the filters look different to you?
Not to mention it, maybe a little.
It looked a little bit different to me with the scene with Sam and Jimmy.
Shouldn't have said that.
Wait, why? Is that spoilers?
No, not you.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
What Sindri said.
Duh.
Has Sentry ever heard of a shower? Did they?
I don't think they exist in this village. Unless if they just get wet in the river or in the stream. I've been trying to find. I'm trying to look into making like a scribe a costume. I've been trying to figure out how to. I think I know how to do like the hat, maybe the mask, but I might have to wait for him to come out with the actual costumes for that.
I mean, yeah, you have a lot of good costumes, though. Oh, God damn it, Gunner. Don't. Ugh. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
It's like that look Noble does, like. Hmm. Gunner, bro.
He's trying to, like, pick up what he said, clean up what he said, and it's too late now.
Like, you guys are so screwed. Bruh.
Yeah, someone's not happy. And you can see the flashbacks Eris is having.
Yep. He's having those flashbacks, all right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Society busts his skull open.
Definitely a lot more violent than the studio cuts.
Oh, definitely, bro. Mm. What did you do?
Partner.
Bro, you had to let your mouth open, bro.
Hey, you gotta give Noble some credit, though. He's so nice. It's like he said 9 weeks, and he even said he'll come back in 10. He gave them a whole extra week.
Yeah. Bro, but
I mean,
Gunner definitely
really,
had to let it out.
well, to be fair, honestly, I think no matter what would have happened, I feel like Noble would have killed someone, even if Gunner hadn't opened his mouth.
Oh, we gotta be quiet. The priests are chanting. Do, do. That's what makes him so. That's what I was thinking, bro. Like they seemed really creepy in in these cuts because, like, they're doing this right here.
Yeah.
What is he doing? And I'm curious as what's gonna. I wonder if they've had that box out like that before, like even before Princess Issa. I'm curious if they've had that before.
I feel like this is a tradition that started after Princess Issa, after the Slain King.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just thinking if they'd done it beforehand with some other.
Oh, I think I know what you meant. I mean the tradition overall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely. I think they definitely started this when Princess Issa got killed.
See little things too, like you see people actually grieving for Sindri. You know, I kind of feel bad. Like no one talks about Sindri's wife. Everyone's like, for Sindri, Sindri. It's like no one gives a shit about his wife though.
Yeah, for real. I was just like, she's just there to be there, I guess. Bro, these dudes are actually like a bro. They're a bunch of dicks. Like, bro, this one dude, I think, forgot his name. Oh, there's me.
Yep.
Okay, the dragon and the wolf that's on Jimmy's chest. I think that might be a worm. I don't think that's a dragon. I could be
Really?
wrong on that, but there's like on the back of Jimmy, you got these symbols. On the right, there's like a resemblance of a wolf. Well, wait a minute. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw something else on Jimmy. It looked like on his ribs right here. It looked like there was some other creatures. It may have looked like some dragons, but uh, I'll see whenever we get to see him here in a second. But yeah, on the back of Jimmy, there's like these symbols. You got like a symbol. Let me pull up the picture real quick because I got it on my phone. But let me see. While these two take a sip of water. Where's that? Here it is. So on the top, or let me look at it first, just in case it contains spoilers.
I hate people like that.
Okay, so on the back of Jimmy, there's this thing called the King's. It's like the King's Talisman on the top. It contains like a Illuminati looking triangle called the King's Mind. On the side, on the very right, they got a symbol known as the Mars of Knowledge. And then the one I was talking about is the worm time, which is the symbol for time, and it's literally just a worm, not a worm, but it just says worm. I don't know if it resembles another creature. On the bottom, you got the growl known as fate, and then wolf. Wolf represents substance, and then fascist resembles the energy. So that was just something I thought was pretty cool. Okay, here's Jimmy again, getting blasted.
Yeah, just being reckless for no reason.
I wonder what the Jimmys are like. I wonder how their metal can just withstand those like lava blast. And that's the thing too in the studio cuts. They just felt like little laser Star Wars blasters. Like in these versions, it shows like they're shooting these lava balls, like which is lava that literally just goes through you and just blows out your arms. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that may look like a worm on his chest right there, like above his arm. Like you see the teeth right there.
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus, get back to work. Work. Yeah, the filters in this scene I think looked really different than from the
Oh,
studio cuts.
Sin Havoc. It's heated energy.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
36,000 degrees. Ooh. Okay. Dang, Jimmy's can survive like that kind of heat from those blasts. Pretty impressive. Yeah, you can see
Ah,
that symbol right on
Chalice.
his back. Yup. Is indestructible.
Yep.
I'm afraid our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died with that young girl.
Anthony Hopkins can really deliver these lines.
He's such a legend, bro. Jimmy's pretty tall though. He's about
6'8".
yep, 6'8".
That's how
Yep.
tall the actor is, the stunt actor, not Anthony Hopkins. But and
Yep.
yeah, you definitely know that Sam had some influence on him because the instant she touches him, you see him light up,
Yep.
and you can tell that changed him. No, it's not Gunner's fault. Let's be honest. Noble would have killed someone anyways. Like,
Yeah, probably, bro. I just feel like Gunnar had to let some certain words out of his mouth. But yeah, I wonder who Noble would have killed though.
I don't know. Oh my god. Those people are so gullible. No, no.
This is how we should do it.
No, no. And a timestamp for those who just joining us, we're approaching 57 minutes and 10 and 20 seconds. But you watch these movies. Imagine just seeing this. Imagine what Zach could do with ZSJL 2 and 3.
Yo, man. He can definitely do it over there. Netflix would make sure he is busy working on those.
Yeah. And like Rebel Moon, Zach would film those two back to back.
Yep.
And I even think we may even get a studio cut and a director's cut for each.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hagen's smart. Hagen's the smart one.
See,
This,
Mark's he's using us. He's spoken through a pipe.
I always see this is the one scene I was really nervous watching in the director's cut because I was worried that this scene was going to go further than the studio cut, like a lot further, and I'm glad it didn't. Not too much not enough that I really was like, oh, yep, this was different than the studio cut.
Yeah. Is he like high or something? Or like drunk?
Probably.
He's probably high from, smoking that pipe.
Oh God. But see, I think you needed it because they needed to give Korra a reason to turn around, and this is, I think, the only thing that can make Korra do what can make Korra change her mind. Because you saw earlier she cared about Sam, like you saw that friendship with them, and what they're about to do to her.
Cora's looking at that axe, but she's gonna do something with that. But we'll wait for everybody to see what she does with it.
Here we go.
I am waiting till we get the props for those guns, bro. I'm definitely can't wait for those to come out. Oh, oh, yeet!
Yeah.
Oh,
Pieces of shit deserve it.
pew. And the sound of the blasters sound like they sound strong. I mean,
Sound like
by
a real
strong,
blaster.
yep. Like the sound of it's like intense. Oh, he's dead. Ooh, like see through his skull.
Yeah, I love how he just assumes that Jimmy's on his side.
And right here, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick this up. Well, what am I doing? What am I gonna do with it?" Ooh, with his brain.
Yeah, that's precise aim right there.
Yep. I mean, the Jimmy's probably never missed a shot before.
Oh, one's still alive. Not for long, though.
Excuse me. I just saw the private chat. What was that for?
Oh, that was when I went to get some water.
Oh, okay. My bad. I did not see that until now.
It's just really funny though how basically the biggest excitement we have for DC right now is something that's not even like for sure happening, like that nothing that's confirmed to happen. It's just from Skywalker the Jedi.
Yep, exactly. There's nothing else I'm interested in DC. Matt Reeves' Batman universe is most likely to be canceled. Now, I'm not saying it is, but for what's been going on, I don't know if it's going to make it or not.
I mean, honestly, I could see Reeves versus Netflix trending at some point.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
I mean, I just don't think like Matt Reeves' universe is really that popular. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, the Batman wasn't that good of a movie.
And the thing about it was, I mean, hey, it made money, but like you said back then, I've come across maybe I'm going to say a couple of people that really liked it, but then most of them are just like, it's alright. Like they
Well, I
weren't
mean,
like, they were like, oh my gosh, this was so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just weren't like hyped for it. But like I said, if anyone likes it, hey, that's your opinion, not mine.
exactly. I mean, I mean, the thing is, they spent so much money on this movie that it really needed to make $1 billion to be a profit. They put so much into it, and really,
Yep.
it didn't need to be that. But I think my biggest issue with the Batman's conception is why. Like, what did this movie really offer us that we haven't seen before? Because Ben Affleck's Batman was going to be the first Batman live action movie to exist in that larger DC universe. We didn't
Yep.
get that. Whereas Matt Reeves'
We
Batman was
saw,
just like another Nolan ripoff.
yeah, this is a solo Batman film that, hey, people want to say, oh, he's a YouTube Batman to learn. Okay. Read the year one comic, or if you need to, watch the animated adaptation of Batman Year One, which I've read both Year One and the animated adaptation. If I want to see a Batman, starting off, I'm going to watch that. If I want to watch a live action, Batman film, I want to watch the Ben Affleck Batman movie. That's what I want to see. Even him fighting Deathstroke.
Well, I mean, that's mainly what I want to see, too, is I want to see that Deathstroke fight. That's the main thing I want to see from the Batfleck movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yo. Like Deathstroke is, hey, I've seen him in Titans, but when it comes to like filmography, like I don't think they've really done a lot to him. They need to, bring him on.
Yeah. And hey, the fact that Joe Manganiello is not going to be in the DCU like previously thought.
He can go over to Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. See, I like the extra scenes we see here with like Cora's family, because I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the studio cuts.
Yeah, there's this part right here wasn't, but where she's like walking outside where the walker's about to appear, that's where yeah, this part right here, this is where they had in the studio cut.
Okay.
Except you don't see exploding bodies.
Yep. But that's war. War is brutal.
Yep. Think of the children. Think of the children. See, I need to see this. Do they got that thing with them? They just got that book. Okay, they don't have that little box with the teeth on them. Okay.
There's one DC movie I'm excited for, and that's Joker. Joker Day Folix, or however, Joker 2. I'm calling it Joker 2. I'll write it correctly, but I think that one's going to be good.
Yeah, I might go see that. There's Belisarius. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I'm just gonna say, like, Cape Crusader, for example, I saw that. It just wasn't good. Like, I need to do a full. I'm gonna try to get a full-on review of that movie in soon. But I had hope for the Elseworld DC, but the Elseworld DC hasn't really been that great. It's
Yeah, I hadn't watched Cape Crusader.
no hurry to watch it. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's crazy how like that is the first Batman series that we're getting like after 10 like first animated Batman series we're getting after like 10 years because before that they had Beware the Batman, which was on it was on Cartoon Network for a little bit, but then they put it on Adult Swim later on.
Belisarius is so sick here. But see, but where the Batman, I had a lot of issues with that because the whole point is like, oh, we don't want to show the traditional rogues gallery because we want to do something different. Then why are you doing another Batman series? Like,
Yeah.
that's the issue. It's like, then don't do a Batman series.
Yep. You know what I would rather have seen over Cape Crusader? Like what we got? Young Justice season 5. That needs to get sold over. They need to continue
I
off
don't
of
know.
that.
I lost interest in season 4.
It was well, I ain't really gonna get into spoilers. They left off with a cliffhanger. I'll just put it that way. And
I've seen all the episodes. I'm just saying that after season 4, I don't really care about season 5.
yeah, I get what you mean. I'm just saying I would prefer to see season 5 over Cape Crusader, to be honest.
See, let this little background get right here too.
I'm wondering how they capture the Chalice. That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe I'm overthinking that. I'm thinking like, they could be these giants that can be captured, but maybe I'm
I mean,
over.
size isn't everything.
Yep.
Well, see, it also makes sense too. They actually add a little backstory to why they always kill people because I
Yep.
mean, think about it. You don't want to kill too many people because you can't be a ruler if you have no one to rule over.
Yep.
But here they kind of give you a backstory why they kill so many people.
Now this right here, this scene right here, this painting right here, this is what I'm trying to dig deep into. And this is a theory I have that, Princess Issa could be something. She could
Well, she's
be some
definitely
kind of.
something. We'll say that.
I think she's some kind of supernatural being in the Rebel Moon universe. That's what I think. But I want to wait until the Heroes and Monsters book comes out. The Cinescale gets done with, its first season on the podcast. And then after Twilight of the Gods. Because I don't know. Princess Issa could be related to Twilight of the Gods, but I'm not really sure yet.
Well, supposedly Twilight of the Gods is supposed to bridge the Armyverse and the Rebelverse together.
Yep.
That's why Zach says he needs to do more Army of the Dead because it connects to Rebel Moon.
Absolutely.
See, they're desensitizing Korra to violence. At a young age, they're desensitizing her to violence. It's really sick. Oh.
Those are cool masks right there. And the zombie virus, because Zack Snyder was also talking about how the zombie virus is like part of Rebel Moon lore. So what I'm trying to figure out is where that virus like came from.
Well, we know the virus is of alien origin.
Yep. And there's 2 creatures that I'm thinking the virus came from. And you might know which ones I'm talking about, possibly.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about one of them when we see it.
Yep.
It's so sick how Balisarius looks so proud of Korra. Like, you can just see it in his face.
He's like, you see right there, yeah.
See, it's so funny. I thought we'd see more of the lover that Korra had in the director's cut, but in my opinion, it wasn't really that needed.
Yeah, I get what you mean right there. How like he kind of died. Yo, these scenes, like this whole battle right here, it's about to get crazy over here. I'll show you what I mean, but yo, they could make a freaking game. They can make like a whole first person shooter, like open battlefield type game, yo.
Yeah.
Like if you play like Battlefield, if you play like the Battlefield game, EA or DICE, whoever makes Battlefield games, they could make a Rebel Moon game like this. Yeah. I love how it shows the blaster coming out through the barrel like shoo.
Yep, that you did, Korra. Yeah, this flashback is definitely a lot longer in this than the studio cuts. And it's so funny. I get so invested in the flashback here that when you get to the present day, I'm like, oh right, Korra's telling him a story.
Yep.
Like I almost like forget that, oh, like this is where they are, because I just got so invested in the flashback.
Yep. Oh, we got Jimmy. We got me out here again. These shots look crazy good, bro. It's a cool cape. Oh, okay. This is where it's about to get crazy.
It's so funny. They say that like Netflix can never afford to make ZSJL 2 and 3, but it's like they have so much of the Snyderverse cast working with them already. I mean, you see what Zack can produce for only $166 million. I mean, yes, ZSJL 2 and 3 would be more because of licensing fees and actors, but they also, Netflix would get a bigger return on their investment as well.
And Netflix's stock is in outer space.
Yeah. Whereas you look at Warner Brothers,
They're in the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic.
yeah, I regret not selling my stock when I had the chance. I mean, I could still sell it now, but at this point, it's like, might as well just keep the shares and hope they go up.
Oh no, they got the Hawk Sharks, the bounty hunters. Oh.
Yeah, I had some issues with the blood axes that we're going to talk about later on, but well, actually, we can kind of say right now. I mean, you saw what in the opening scene. I mean, that whole world suffered because they were hiding the blood axes.
That alien and that female right there, I think has to do something with the zombies.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely the alien, that blue alien, though.
Yep. There's Hawk Shark.
See, another little. I'll shut up. But just a bit of foreshadowing right there.
Nope. There's Josh Whedon.
Yep. Which is funny. I don't think you really see him until in the studio cut. You don't see him until he actually approaches the two of them.
Nope. Yeah, this one right here. If you just look at her eyes, that's where the resemblance I think is coming from. Cool.
And for those of you guys, anyone just joining us, we are at 1 hour, 24 minutes, and approaching 51 seconds. Nope.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Definitely more brutal than the PG-13 cut. You know, it's so funny. A lot of people complain about how Netflix did the raw. Like, some people are like, oh, Netflix should have gone straight to the PG-13 cuts. Or, no, not, sorry. Straight to the director's cuts and skipped over the PG-13 cuts. But,
Bro,
I mean,
those critics would have gone hard on these cuts, bro. The PG-13 cuts are basically like a counter for that. Like, oh, they can't really say anything about the director's cuts because, oh, we got the PG-13 cuts, so we can't really say anything about it, if you get what I mean.
Exactly. And people are acting like they wouldn't have criticized the director's cuts. I'm like, well, no, they did criticize the director's cuts. I mean, you got Collider writing a hit piece before they could have possibly seen the movie in full.
At 12:14 a.m.
Yeah. And reminded people there were no screenings. Okay, there were no early screenings for these kinds of trades. So this is not a normal circumstance.
Oh, if you also pay attention to this right here,
Yeah,
this alien, you see his veins like when he's grabbing through his neck. That's where I mostly think the viruses came from.
and the eyes, just the eyes as well.
Exactly, and how he reacts like this, like that. That's where I think it's coming from. But
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go into more detail about this on my channel.
What up, Futuretron?
What's up, Futuretron? Oh no, Josh Whedon's back.
Yeah, she should have killed him.
Uh-oh.
Don't mess with Cora. Gunner is just such a wimp.
He's getting his ass handed to. Oh. Oh. Ooh.
Green Arrow. There was Zack Snyder's Green Arrow.
Nope. Who do you think Cora would have been?
What do you say?
Who do you think Cora would have been? Because I remember.
I would say Grail. So I like, or a female Fury.
I was thinking of Hawk Girl, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask Sophia if I get a chance.
I actually asked her when I got to meet her at the Fan Expo I was at in January. I did ask her if Zack Snyder had any plans for her in his DC universe, and she told me that you might have to ask him. That's what she told me.
Okay.
So, but that doesn't mean you can't ask her. You can ask her anything, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I'll probably make sure. Now that you told me what she said, I'll definitely have to ask something else to make sure to see if.
This scene with that robot walking out of the bar, I think that might be. I want to talk about it, but I don't. Has to do some with the Cinescale. I don't want to spoil her or nothing. Let's just say that she's related to the Jimmies. I think she's related to Jimmy's.
Yeah, I think so.
And for Kai's freight ship, they definitely like took the front was definitely taken a lot from like they kind of based this whole ship around like the crab ships. You know those ships where they have to like gather all the crabs and that stuff in the ocean and dump it in that cart. That's what they base Kai's like freight ship from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love Kai. He's like, oh, what do you do? Gunner answers, yeah, I don't really care. See, but like, I don't know, like, I really do think Netflix did the right thing with the rollout, because I think what they did too is they kept Rebel Moon in the conversation longer. Because you got part 1 in
Yep.
December, Rebel Moon talk. You got part 2 in April, more Rebel Moon talk. And then you got the director's cuts, more Rebel Moon talk.
You're building up engagement and interest. Exactly.
Exactly. Plus, again, these films are see, I like that you see like more of the backstory of the village in the director's cut, because basically you don't see them again until you really actually don't see them actually at all after they leave, after Cora and Gunner leave. See, I was so thrown off guard when I saw this scene, because they literally take a scene that's in the part 2 in the studio cut, and you see it in part 1 of the director's cut.
Yep. Yeah, this one. And we see this. I ain't gonna spoil it.
I mean, a minor spoiler is okay. I mean, especially I don't really mind.
It's not really a big. It's just a little tiny little thing, but we do get to see this type of scene again in chapter 2, but it's not like them pulling it out or nothing like that.
Oh yeah, I know we see a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it makes sense though, because it's like it makes sense that the village would be proactive, not just wait for Cora to come back, because they need defenses, and you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
And that too, Netflix is like building up like I think that I heard they're building like a hotel or a restaurant or something like that. Imagine like them putting Rebel Moon stuff in a hotel and you get to see all the props, the guns, and all this stuff. That would be crazy, bro. I would definitely go to that.
Yeah, sounds expensive, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's like, I've been wanting to go to LA. I want to go to LA so bad, man. I want to meet Zack Snyder.
Yeah, well, I'll be going to LA in about a week or 2.
Oh yeah, you're going to the Cool Table meetup.
Yep. And I'm actually staying a little extra.
Ooh. Man,
I really love the dynamic of Sam and Eris here. It's like I love how Sam's the one who's able to calm Eris down. Like you see Eris get very upset, and Sam's the only one who's actually able to calm him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need everything. What's Awesome Con?
I think I saw something about Awesome Con. Let me look that up. Let me see.
I'll go back on camera for a little bit. I just needed some time off camera for...
No, you're probably fine, man. I get it. Sometimes I got to do that.
But I want to be on camera too, so I can represent my cell shirt.
Yep, I got my own right now. Also at the back.
See, and I think one thing I really loved with Cell compared to Restore is Cell was big about promoting Zack's other projects. I feel like with Restore, Army of the Dead was such an afterthought.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, we're just gonna watch it and then forget about it,
Well, yeah, because to them, I think with Restore, it was like, we want Zack back at Warner Brothers doing DC. Who cares about this project?
Yeah.
Whereas here, we actually know it was like, let's support Zack's current project at Rebel Moon. We actually need this project to do well too, and that's what I love too. It's like yin and yang with Cell and Zack's and Rebel Moon.
Futuretron, I just looked at Awesome Con is in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I definitely won't be going because I can't afford to travel
Yeah,
again.
and the trip's like really long. Yo, I love this scene, bro. Where Jimmy's like making them food, and then just in a few seconds,
It's Jimmy.
this is a shot I love.
I think you're a little ahead of me because I think it didn't play right away for me. But you're talking about the shot with Jimmy.
Yep, he's on the mountain. He's walking down.
Yeah, it's a great scene. But that's why I love Cell though, is that we're actually it's like we want to watch Zach's other projects because again with Army of the Dead, I feel like Army of the Dead would have done a lot better if Restore had really put full support of it. And again, I don't want to say that everyone from Restore was like, oh, we don't give a shit. No, I mean I know there were plenty of people who did watch and support Zach's other projects. I'm not saying everyone was like that. I'm just saying that it wasn't like as big part of the campaign as much as it should have been, is all.
And that's the thing too. Cell has also been one of the biggest motivations for me wanting to do my channel because when I'm doing my videos, when I'm doing my gaming videos, I'm showing support for Netflix's projects and for even projects that they get the license to.
Yeah. And again, I know and license is a form of selling, by the way, too, because you're selling a form of rights to Netflix. You're selling the rights to show these movies at this time frame.
And we got Ray Porter, aka Darkseid. Yep. Except he couldn't find anti-life, and now he's just got a job.
Oh, he did?
No, I'm just joking. I was just making up this joke how like if Darkseid didn't find anti-life, he just got to find a job and work.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't getting the drink. I thought you meant Ray Porter, but yeah, that's
Nah, it's cool. I also want to meet Ray Porter too, bro.
he seems like a nice guy, and he tweeted Cell.
Yep, he sure did, and I got a full printed receipt of him tweeting that out.
And he
it's
doubled
all
down
there,
on it.
black and white, clear as crystal.
And he doubled down on it after he got attacked too.
Yep. He literally got attacked, but all those people that were attacking were probably bots. That's what I think it was.
Well, yeah, because a lot of James Gunn bots, James Gunn doesn't want Cell to happen.
Yep.
Although, actually, Curly Ray, I have to tell you, I think we actually owe James Gunn an apology for calling him a liar. When he said Ben Affleck wanted to direct a DC project, when he said Zack Snyder wasn't interested in doing his DC on Netflix, James Gunn wasn't lying, a Curly Ray. He was just making an educated wish.
Yep.
You saw Deadpool and Wolverine, right?
I'll be honest. I still haven't because I've been a little bit busy. Is there something in there?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it was a reference. What I said was a reference to Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what?
If you...
Okay. I'll try to get to it when I can. I've been pretty busy and also, saving up money because, I hadn't been really going to the movies that much. And I've also been getting ready for these Rebel Moon director's cuts to come out and also been studying and getting a lot of stuff ready. So that's why I hadn't really been checking out a lot of stuff. And the other thing is, too, I just bought most of the X-Men movies on Blu-ray. And I want to watch those before I get into Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, I would just watch them all on Disney Plus, or at least... This is how I kind of compromise. I just made sure to watch the main X-Men trilogy, the Wolverine trilogy, and the 2 Deadpool movies. I decided that was enough for me.
Yeah. I know about... I I just I didn't want to get spoiled later on, but I was just like, because I made a post about how I didn't want anyone to spoil the movie for me, but then later on I was just like, you know what, I kind of stopped caring after that because I know that, like, I'm going to be busy in the next few weeks. So that's why I kind of just let it all out after that. But I know some of the cameos in the movie that are in it, but
Do you
there
know
are
about a
some.
certain DC cameo that was in it?
Yep, I sure do. I know about that one. I know about that one.
Do you see Tarak talking that foreign language to Banu in the studio cuts?
Yeah, he did talk that language in the studio cut.
Okay. It's so funny. Like, when you see, like, now that I've seen the director's cuts, it's like, wait, well, do I remember this from the studio cut or do I remember this just from the director's cut?
I know in the very first trailer, there's a line he says in this scene. I remember the very first trailer that we got that was shown at Gamescom, like where he says, let me see what it is. Let them show us we're more than the shackles that bind us. He says that in English in the trailer, but in this, he says it in his language.
I think that was a good way to do it, though, because they probably did multiple takes, but I think for the trailer, it's better just show it in English
Yeah.
or human talk. I don't know. I feel weird saying English because, I mean, I know obviously the actors are speaking English, but like, there's no really English in this universe.
The score in this scene is fire, bro. Call a call to courage.
Yeah. Yes.
Do, 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 do.
From the scene. And actually, what's funny is my high school mascot was actually a griffin.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I'm
Mine
very
was
partial to griffins.
mine was mine was a Native American, but the other was a wildcat for a little bit, but that was only in ninth grade.
What's funny for me is actually after high school, my college mascot was an eagle, which, for those who don't know, a griffin is half eagle, half lion. Oh, I love the look on Banu's face here. He's like, "Oh, I got you now."
But he's gonna run.
Which we saw in the trailer. This shot right here. Oh, look who we have in the chat.
What's up, Josh Herrera?
Yeah, I would like to see that. And oh wow, right after
It's Zodwriter. What's up? What's up? What's
Thank
up,
you,
Zodwriter?
Zodwriter. And yeah, and for those who haven't seen it, check out Zodwriter's stream last night where he debuts the One Punch Dan teaser, which, again, just for those who don't know, that's not me talking. That's not actually me talking. As much as it sounds like me. See, I love to see like everyone ducks down and like they're so afraid, and Korra is just like embracing the creature.
Korra knows how gentle the creature is.
And I'll say this, One Punch Dan is going to be way better than anything James Gunn cooks up.
Yep. Absolutely.
More excited for that cinematic universe than the DC one.
Nope. Bro, I know good and well if the movie even releases, because at this point it could be a tax write-off, but there's gonna be a bunch of narratives coming out for that Superman movie. Like, this is the best movie since The Dark Knight.
Oh god, I've heard that one way too many times. It's lost all meaning.
For real.
Oh, I love this scene we're getting right here.
Oh, they're about to get this is about to get crazy.
See, I heard like a criticism that they felt bad for Ray Porter's character here because he wasn't shown to be a bad guy. I'm like, no, he was literally enslaving a man. Dead or no dead, you don't enslave people.
Bro, people that say they're a bunch of buffoons, dude. Like, he honestly deserved it, bro.
Definitely a lot more violent in this cut.
Yup. I was
yes-
thinking when we got the studio cuts, I was like, yo, I know that scene's going to be brutal in the director's cuts. Oh, what were you going to say about Dan?
I was going to say, Josh, let's go, Josh. You and me. Come on. You and me, Josh. Right now. Let's go. And for those of you who don't know, this kind of came from the stream we were on from Zod's stream last night. Just Josh and one punch Dan. Him and I, we're going.
Nah, there's something funny I want to mention. So, like,
God, I just love this scene with Noble. And I love how the trailer they actually add a little bit, just showing it in his mouth too.
Okay, what creature is that? Is that like a squid or something? Wait a minute, Bat Dan. I just saw some little small detail on that creature. Could that be a worm?
Could be.
Because they're like going in each other, and that mouth was the shape of a worm, so it could possibly be the worm. So it could.
Come on, Josh. Let's go.
Josh is like, I'm the guy.
Not against One Punch Dan. And for those of you who don't know, I just want to clarify, since if you didn't see the stream from Zod Riders last night, Josh and I were good. This is just friendly banter with the two of us.
Yep.
Cassius is just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, hold up. When it gets to the worms, let's look at them, bro. Maybe there's a larger species of that.
I mean, my guess it's some still space creature.
Possibly. Oh.
Like, yeah, like the mouth, that wasn't like that. They specifically showed that in the trailer.
Yep. And
See,
we're about to see
this
a character.
Way better than the studio cut. Like, when people say, well,
yeah, bro,
the studio cut was paced better than the director's cuts. No. I mean, this Nemesis scene right here alone. I mean, you literally, I mean, as much as I love the studio cut, the Nemesis segment kind of bothered me a little bit because, I mean, I loved her fight with Hermata, but, like, I didn't like how they just kind of go down the elevator with her. She fights them, and she's just on the ship with them without any.
Yeah, they didn't really do a lot of depth with her in the part 1 version, but right here you're just like, asking, are you looking for me?
I just wonder certain scenes, like, why didn't they put that in the studio cut?
I'm not sure. Like, I don't know why they didn't cut it off.
Like, it's not violent. It's not. I mean, and also, it's not like Netflix is worried about like getting butts and seats for a theater. It was a 2-hour I think the studio cuts 2 hours and 30. Well, I guess the studio cuts about 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think.
It's about studio for the PG for part 1, it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. For part 2, it was 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, they could have added a little bit more to. See, you know what's kind of ironic though? When so happens, in some ways, I may be thanking James Gunn for doing what he did because under DeLuca's plan for Restore the Snyderverse, the problem is they're going to merge the DCU and the Snyderverse timeline. So we had to accept stuff like Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984, and Aquaman 2018, which contradicts ZSJL. No, I don't want to play mental gymnastics to make that fit, but we would have to accept that in the Snyderverse. Whereas because of this, with Cell, now we can just get ZSJL 2 and 3 just only acknowledging the Zack's trilogy as canon and nothing else.
Yep.
So we get pure Snyderverse that way.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm about quality over quantity.
Yep, exactly. I'm quality all the way. Quantity is just like, okay, you're going to eat something, you're just going to eat something, but then never talk about it ever again. When I'm talking about quality, I want to eat it, and this moment is going to hang on to me for a very long time. That's how I want my films to be.
Oh, I just love Nemesis here when she says,
"Spill the blood of the officers of the realm.
You'll
have that chance." It's like she killed. How many officers did she kill? I think she killed 16 high-ranked officers. Or rank 16, I think.
Well,
Oh, my bad.
I mean, it's not a major spoiler, so. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I like that with Cell, we'll basically get pure Snyderverse. Zack can just do his vision and not have to accommodate other stuff. And then actually, all this debate about canon doesn't really matter because people try to debate, well, Aquaman's canon to the Snyderverse, Wonder Woman's canon to the Snyderverse. It's like, well, no, technically, because with the ZSJL IP, the only thing that's canon to ZSJL is Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. Even The Flash, even though The Flash does reference ZSJL, I mean, like, ZSJL is canon to The Flash, but it doesn't mean The Flash is canon to ZSJL 2 and 3 going forward.
Yep.
Plus, with ZSJL being its own IP, that means if Netflix gets the rights to that specific IP, they may not even be allowed to reference any movies outside of those three.
Yep, that is a possible chance because, you know, is the way I think about it. There's like certain. I don't know how to explain it. I think, like, you know, how different Zack Snyder's plans were to, you know, what we actually got. I think I'm not saying that they couldn't reference it, but for certain scenes that happened, you know, like in how they showed those photos. Oh,
sorry. Real quick, just mention how she said that her children can't hatch. Her eggs are weak. Just pay attention to that. Anyway, sorry, go on.
You know, what I was saying was like how there were certain plans that Snyder had, like, you know, that picture from 1854, I believe.
Yeah, yes.
That was not referenced in. I'm not sure if that was referenced in Wonder Woman, the first one. I can't exactly remember.
No, so that photo, that 1854 picture, what that was is that was a stand-in for BVS when they were filming BVS. That was the stand-in photo. And then they switched it to Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman photo. But I mean, that was always the intention. That photo was always a placeholder.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of wish now that they made that like for the Ultimate Edition, the photo, but I think still they were still kind of in limbo where how all these versions are going to fit together. So Zach didn't want to contradict Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, they even went out of their way to keep the same actor for Ares.
Not only that too, bro, but some of the projects that we did get, like not to hate on them, but we had like, the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, which is something like you said, we may have to accept it in there, but it's not referenced, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yes.
That's kind of how I see it.
But I mean, now with ZSJL 2 and 3, it won't be canon at all.
Yep.
See, I like Gunner's arc here. I love how Gunner slowly grows balls.
Yep.
Like you see him rescuing the child.
Yep. Like every character, has its own purpose in the film. They're not just like throwing away to start off like agendas, if you know what I mean.
Well, here's the thing. Zack Snyder does the agendas so naturally. He has a diverse cast of characters, and you know what's funny? I didn't even realize that this was a diverse cast. I'm like, oh, yeah, it is. He just made cool characters.
Exactly.
That's how, like, put it like this, and I know I'm going to get clipped out of this, but I don't want to see a character who is black or Asian. Or no, sorry. I want to see a character who is black or Asian, not a black or Asian character, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That definitely, I get what you mean right there.
Like just a real character who happens to be that agenda. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get clipped out of that. Someone's gonna like take a certain thing I say and be like, oh, look what Dan just said. But yeah.
Well, I was here and I know what you meant. So
see, this is what I love right here. They mentioned the eggs so they can't hatch, but here Nemesis helps with that. And what I like about that is that it adds a little something to it, is that Nemesis is trying to kill as little life as possible.
mm-hmm.
She knows that Hermata is pregnant. So what Nemesis is, I mean, at least in my opinion, what Nemesis is doing here is she's saving the babies so that when she kills Hermata, the babies don't die.
Yeah, because all the babies are wandering around. You got the little spire like, and then just like crawling away. I might be able to stay for about another few minutes back then, and I may have to head out because I need to get up early in the morning for work.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for letting me know.
All right. Ooh. We got more Jimmy.
Yep.
This scene right here is actually the wallpaper on it's the lock screen wallpaper on my phone. We got more of the Hawkshawks.
Yeah, well, you also said that you were going to let the mom and sister live, so.
You know what's so brutal about this part? Is he's still alive, but he's paralyzed.
Oh, yeah, because in the director's cut, you just assume he's dead. Or in the
Yep.
studio cut, you assume he's dead.
Like they inspect his brain while he's like still alive. That's crazy.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, after ZHL 2 and 3, really, I'm fine with Zack Snyder just doing Rebel Moon and Armyverse because I'm invested in these universes. Like, I want to see more of these universes too.
Like and like because Rebel Moon, like Zack Snyder, like this has been like Zack Snyder's dream project. And like I said before, this is a whole, like you said, this is a whole new universe. Okay, I want to see this universe fresh out. I don't want it to get canceled. I don't want something that that is Zack Snyder's dream project to be taken away from him.
Exactly. It's just, and these haters are like so like offended that like Rebel Moon exists. It's like, guys, you don't have to watch it. No one's like holding a gun to your head and saying watch Rebel Moon. If you hate Zack so much, don't watch it.
Well, the reason I don't really worry about those people is because, like, some like you said before, like they don't have to watch it. But the thing about it is too, some of them are paid shills, bots, and you know, just they're putting out all these fake reviews because there's one guy that's trying to say Zack Snyder needs to be stopped, and the whole video back then it's over 4 hours long.
Wow.
That is a fake review right there. I would not want to sit and try to make a 4-hour video about a movie I hate. I can't do that. I could talk about how I could hate a movie, but I wouldn't spend that much time talking about how ridiculous this is, if you know what I mean. Like, it's just a waste of my time.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's like when you talk about it for 4 hours, you make me think you're just a closeted fan. See, one thing that's interesting about this universe compared to Star Wars is that they have real animals in this universe. They have a dog, they have cats, or not cats, they have birds. But like with Star Wars, they don't really have other animals. They'll have versions of other animals. They'll say like Hoth cat or Hoth wolf, but they don't have like real, like plain old dogs or wolves. The only animals from Earth that they have in Star Wars are humans.
Yep.
Whereas here you actually see.
There is one detail in this scene with Core and Princess Cisa that I won't talk about here on stream, but it might be something I talk about with you later on back then.
Yeah,
there's
good.
There's meaning to this scene.
But yeah, I mean, you say she's a supernatural being, like right here. I mean, obviously she has some sort of powers. The fact that she just brought that bird to life.
Yep. Well, not only that, but it's just something else too. I'll talk to you about whenever later on.
Okay. Well, we'll have plenty of streams together still.
Yep.
And there's Cora actually smiling.
And there's the other Jimmys with those capes on.
Yeah, see, and I like that you actually like the King's more of a character in this movie. You see a lot more of him. I love this scene right here.
Yep.
The King just feels a lot more human.
Yeah, I had to take my cap off for a bit because it was kind of getting itchy. I'm getting a haircut soon, so.
Really? You're not going to get them all cut?
Oh, the mall cut. Oh.
Oh, no, it's a joke. Like, only one hair you're cutting.
Oh, okay.
But see, I
No.
love the King right here, though. Like, saying, like, he's, like, glad that Cora is friends with his daughter. Because it just shows... Like, you see a lot... Like, the King feels a lot more like he's regretting what he's been like in the past.
Yep.
Because, like, in the studio cut, they gloss over this pretty quickly, but you just get a lot more context.
It wasn't like whenever the royal family was still alive, I know the mother world's always been like ruthless and killing all these people, but I think with the royal family around, they give more people of a chance to live with, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It's not... And, like, things are going to really change soon.
Yep.
Yeah, and more awkward tension. They were touching, holding hands, and then nope, not anymore. I really love these Jimmy subplots. They add so much.
Yo, and the quality, bro, is crazy. I'm like just grabbing the wheat right there.
You gotta give like Dustin, I think his name is the stunt actor for Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, man.
Like we give everything to Anthony Hopkins, and he definitely deserves it. Make no mistake, but the stunt actor does a really good job too, like really capturing the emotions without talking. And you just see him just learning about life. Because like with the king and queen dead, the whole family dead, like Jimmy doesn't really have a specific program right now. So he actually is able to learn about life.
Yep. And how to be human.
See, even this scene's done so much better too in the director's cut. Again, it just little things like exploring the world a little more, not just, oh, we're on the planet. Here's the person we're looking for right there. We found him, like that.
Yep.
It's funny. It's like, I will defend what Netflix did having to do the studio cuts. I'm not one who says they should skip straight to the R-rated cuts because you appeal to a broader audience that way. But now that the director's cuts are out, I have no reason to watch the studio cuts again.
Yep. And that's the thing here. Even if there's some people, and this is why I tell people in real life, like, if they weren't like, if they weren't fans of the PG-13 cuts, hey, let them check out the rated R cuts, and then maybe they'll change their mind.
Yeah, I mean, besides, anyone who's a true fan of Zack Snyder knows that the director's cuts make a difference.
Yep. Because there was one guy I came across with. He was like, "I liked them, but I feel like they should have been rated R." I'm like, "Well, you got the director's cuts coming out. That's what you need to see." The other thing is, the studio cuts were already successful. Like
Yeah.
they made numbers. They were like number one in all other countries for weeks.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, people were like hoping that they like next time they'll just skip straight to the director's cuts. No, they're not going to do that because this model was a success for them. Why would they change what they did? They don't care about critics, guys. Netflix,
Yep.
because as our late great friend Mikey Sutton said, with Netflix, people don't have to go to a movie theater. It's not like when you're on Netflix, people just watch on Netflix because it's convenient. So
Yep.
people aren't going to care about a review because with the movie, you're going out, paying for tickets, paying for snacks, spending a lot of money to see a movie. Whereas on Netflix, you're just watching at home.
It's just a click right there. It's at the tip of your fingers, even on your mobile device.
You know what's funny is that Titus is actually the wizard in Shazam. And I wonder how he feels about his co-star throwing shade at Zack Snyder for no reason.
He's also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
And in Constantine.
Oh, really?
Yep. He plays, I forgot what the character name is, but he's with I think he's Constantine's partner in the movie. I wonder who he could be in the DCU.
What
What were
are
you
you
going to
saying?
say? No, what
This
were
is
you going
his
to say?
first serious role. Like, real serious role. And in terms of the DCU, I don't think he's going to be in the DCU. Zachary Levi begged like a dog to be in the DCU. And it's so funny, like, when he did his little Instagram video about Shazam 2 failing, he's praying for people to see his movie, like begging people to see it. I'm thinking, Zachary Levi, maybe you just need to accept that Shazam 2 just didn't materialize.
No. Josh sent this video to me where it was like, it was him and these kids like interviewing. He was interviewing these two kids for that crayon movie that came out, The Boy with the Purple Crayon. And it's like the kids were asking, oh, did you ever see Shazam 2? I never saw it. And he's like, or the kids were like saying, I heard it was bad. And then the Zachary Levi was acting like, yeah, they're pretty good. Like, he's just some puppet.
It's like he's so quick to throw shade at Zack Snyder stuff, but when his movie doesn't do well, it's just excuses.
Yeah, Zachary Levi was just like, oh, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist.
And then when Henry Cavill got fired, he said that Snyder's movies didn't materialize.
Bruh. Josh. For real, bro.
See, I like how Cora gets him to join. I like that he's just like, just get revenge, I don't, or they didn't get that there.
He's like having this full talk with General Titus.
See, it's such a smart way to get him to join.
Yep.
it just, again, just paced so much better. It's just like little details make it so much better, because that was my one criticism of the studio cut, was how rushed the putting the team together felt, whereas here this just feels so much more natural. Like, there's no way on planet Earth you can really tell me that the PG-13 cuts are better. The pacing's worse.
I feel like I like how like even I will say that I'll never go back to the PG-13 cuts, but I feel like the only time I would is if when we get those, if whenever Rebel Moon Part 3 comes out, we watch the PG-13 cuts of Part 3 to kind of like refresh it. That way you may
Part
not
1 and
expect.
2 to refresh for 3, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, no, same thing. That's when I'm going to do it again, actually.
Yep. That'll be the only time I do it.
Well, 3 and 4, because I'm sure that we're going to get 3 and 4 greenlit back to back.
Yeah. That's all I think. We're going to get 3 and 4 like close to each other.
See, I love this extra scene right here, too. Just adds so much.
Yep. It's like more of the characters interacting with each other. Or like talking to each other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna let it get to this scene and then I'm gonna have to head out.
Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Or thanks for coming on, I should say. And
Man, you're
send
welcome, man.
havoc.
Actual storytelling, exactly. Yo, thank you very much, Josh. I love
Yeah,
it.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, I do have Core's banner. They also have another one. They got the regular one, this one. And they got another one, but except it's like blue and white. And then another one that's just like the brown and everything like that. But I went with this one because it's mainly Korra's. I want them to make the other ones. I want them to make Tarek's, Gunner's, General Titus's, and Nemesis's ones. I would have those banners up here on my wall immediately. But I also have my BVS poster right here, so I want to keep that right there. Yep. All right, I'm gonna head out, y'all. It was great seeing y'all tonight. Thank you for having me on here, Bad Dan. I've been, it's been great having these conversations with you about Rebel Moon and Zack Snyder's projects. And I can't wait for Sunday, man. I can't wait to be back. Or that's if if I'm not too busy. But if I'm not, I'll be glad to be back here Sunday for the watch along for Rebel Moon Chapter 2, Curse of Forgiveness.
Yeah, can't wait to have you back on for that.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Thanks, you too. Trying to... Thought there was a way I could do the background on StreamYard where it would show a little bit of the... Yeah, Dever, you're here to help people. Okay? And all they've done so far is get people killed. And you saw the opening act. The whole world died because of them. See, I just love Ray Fisher as an actor. He just delivers these lines so well. Yep, Borg life. And just like the way that he delivers these facial expressions right here makes a huge difference. You know, Josh, I didn't actually see that yet. I still need to see that. I haven't really been in a huge hurry to catch on these Sony movies. Yeah, and you've also got a bunch of other worlds killed. Exactly. That's exactly what they stand for. Yep, exactly. You're here to save people. Yeah, I love Milius. Great character too. Oh no, Heroes Punch Karen's just Josh. Come on, Josh. Come on. Let's you and me. Hop online right now, Josh, and you and I we'll go right now. Come on. Let's go. You got the link. We can go right now. There we go. The whole team's together. I sure hope nothing bad happens. Okay, Joshua, I hope you feel better. I at least appreciate you being in the chat right now. So for those of you just joining, right now we are at 2 hours, 29 minutes, and approaching 20 seconds. Yep. Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely, Kai. It does make you one of the good guys. See, this is what I'm talking about with Blood Axes right here, though. Who's my favorite rebel? So if Jimmy doesn't count, then... I would say Titus. I'm going to say Titus. See, this is what I'm talking about the Blood Axes, though. It's like they cause all this destruction to the worlds that house them. First, that world that Eris went on. Now, King Levitica's world. The Blood Axes, I'm just saying, we've seen them cause more damage than help. So, I just kind of hope it won't say too much. I'll talk about that more after the watch party for part 2. But yeah, Josh, to answer your question, definitely Titus, because I feel like Titus is... I just love his leadership skills. He's just such a great leader. Yikes. That's gotta hurt. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Just kidding. That would have been funny, Josh. That would have been hilarious. But honestly, he's better. There's Brett. There you are, Brett. It's so funny how Brett's such a nice guy, and then the character he plays is such a dick. But that's acting, though, so... Yeah, well, you know what, Zachary Levi? Your co-star is in a Zack Snyder movie that's way more successful than your movie. So, which yeah, I actually just realized now I don't have a co-host or another guest on. I can just wear both my headphones at once. Ugh, brutal. Very brutal. See, again, it's like that score right there. It sounds just like that score from Zeus JL. They're still going. They're still going. I guess that wasn't enough for them. They still need to... Just saying, really brutal. Really brutal. That was a great one. That was a great one, Josh. Of course, our favorite part of that review was when we talked about the Rebel Moon Director's Cut trailer. I'm just saying, you see shit like Acolyte and... See, okay, real quick. I just love how it's interesting how like Cassius and Nobles have some weird telekinesis right there. But yeah, it's just like you see shit like Acolyte, and it's just so much how much better Rebel Moon really is. It's just so much better than what Star Wars is doing right now. And it's sad because I love Star Wars. I don't like seeing Star Wars in the shit. It's like bad enough, DC's gone to shit. Star Wars is going to shit. And I'm saying going because they've had some good stuff still. I mean, they've had Bad Batch Season 3. I'm not going to say that was amazing. I love Bad Batch. And they have Andor Season 2 coming out. So Star Wars has some good stuff. It's just that, again, it's consistent quality is the problem. And honestly, I'll put it like this. I don't ever want a single Rebel Moon project that Zack Snyder is not involved in some way. Whether it be writing, producing, actively producing, not just a producer credit. I mean, actually producing. Yeah, exactly, Josh. Besides, Zack Snyder would have given justice for fives. Which you could actually see my background right now, but no, okay, no, that's... Exactly, Josh. Especially in these director's cuts. Especially in these director's cuts, he's unleashed. Here we go. And again, people, you look at this. You look at this right here, and you're telling me Zach can't do DC. He could not do a good ZSJL 2 and 3. Netflix ain't broke, people. People think that Netflix is this poor company, but you look at Netflix stock and you look at Warner Brothers Discovery stock, Netflix is doing way better than Warner Brothers. Oh, come on, Kai. Why can't they look inside the boxes, Kai? You're not hiding something in there, are you? But I'm just saying, you look at these movies, and it's so funny how much, like this doesn't look like a Netflix movie. This doesn't look like a streaming movie. This looks like a movie that you would see in theaters. This is theatrical quality. Way more theatrical quality than a lot of theatrical movies, I'll say that. But it looks so good. And so, yeah, absolutely, Zach could definitely do ZSJL 2 and 3 on Netflix. The only thing that's more expensive is the licensing fee for DC characters, and the actors. But also, Netflix will get an even bigger return on investment for a very popular brand. Well, not this version in theaters, but yeah, exactly. I did see the studio cuts, both parts 1 and 2 in theaters. Unlike you, Josh, where you saw everything in theaters, right? You saw all 4 Rebel Moon movies in theaters. So, oh, it's the Hawkshaws. What are they doing there? What are they doing there? And why are they talking to Kai? Why are these Hawkshaws talking to Kai? Hey, Kai's not up to something, is he? Is he? Ah, you son of a bitch. Yeah, actually, you know what we'll do? Since I can't show the background right now, we'll get something shown, some form of logo shown. They carry their own doom. Their own doom. See, what I like about this twist is that, like, Kai had an actual logical reason for helping them. It was a clever way to round up the soldiers. Oh, I can actually ride the Bat Pod at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour? Really? Is it like an actual display that I just sit on and pretend to ride, or is it like some virtual thing I do? Yeah, that's a great lesson. Never set foot on the wrong side of history. But see, Kai's a coward. Ah, itch. And although Kai seems like he's like somewhat regretting what he's doing, but I don't know. He's still He's still a son of a bitch, if you ask me. Okay. But still, cool. I'm excited for that Warner Brothers tour, Josh. I am really excited for that one. Yeah, maybe I'll just do one of those then. Honor, that's what he had to gain, is honor. Okay, so it was 16 he assassinated. I thought it was 17. See, I just love that look of pride on her face. She's so proud of herself for doing that. It's like, damn. But she should be. Kill those bastards. Oh, sorry. A bit of a yawn here. I'm actually going to go off camera for a little bit, but I'm still going to engage. And actually, let me take this. A little redundant to take that off, but uh-oh. Noble recognizes that gun. Yeah, I'm just going to stay on camera for a little bit. Hey, I love that. Kai just wants the credit. He just wants all the credit. You know, Skywalker brought up a really good point when he was doing his watch party. He is actually low-key trying to save Gunner. What he's doing. He's trying to basically give Gunner a way to survive this. Since Gunner's not that interesting to Noble. Yeah, but Gunner has his own arc. Just saying, Gunner is... Oh, yeah, exactly, Josh. Exactly. He is the best of the best. Which, another line from ZSJL. See what you did there, Josh. See what you did there, just Josh. Even though One Punch Man is going to kick your ass. I mean, look at that. That had to take precise timing to do something like that. And I love with it's so funny. With Kai's death, in the studio cut, it looks like, oh, maybe he survived that because it's so like short and quick. But in the director's cut, no, it's definitely clear like he's dead. Like Kai dead. Like Kai is definitely dead. So I love this battle. This is such a great battle. I'm going to succeed. Just saying, Just Josh. You're going to be on your knees going, oh, One Punch Man, please. I'll massage your feet. I'll give you watermelon. I'll throw watermelon away. Just please don't hurt me. That's going to be you, Just Josh, after going against One Punch Man. Oh, God, Ray Fisher as Darien Bloodaxe. What a badass. I mean, just look at this quality. Look at this quality right here. Again, you're really telling me that he can't do ZSJL 2 and 3. Like, no. He's definitely doing ZSJL 2 and 3. But... uh-oh. The gun is going to get them. Oh, yeah, sorry, folks, if I'm not always talking right now. Sometimes I just gotta enjoy the movie. Still haven't mastered watch parties quite yet. Trying to find that balance of talking and watching the movie. It's always a tricky game. It's always a very tricky game right there. And it's so funny. You're watching the studio cut, and I'm thinking, oh, Darien Bloodaxe is probably alive. Because it's like one shot, and you don't see all this blood. But here it's like, to quote Wolverine, if he survived that, then he's praying for death. But hey, you know what? Maybe he died, but he died like a badass. But I think it was El Necron who was pointing this out too, is that the characters who were supposed to be in ZSJL 2 and 3, Ray Porter, Ray Fisher, both died. And what up, Skywalker the Jedi? Thanks for stopping by. On to the best part of Rebel Moon Part 1, or Chapter 1, the final fight. Just kicking ass. We got Korra approaching Noble right now. Timestamp is 2 hours, 52 minutes, approaching 2 hours and 53 minutes and 10 seconds. confusing because we're like at the edge of a minute, so. Just trying to show Zack Snyder some love on Netflix right now. But yeah, what I think I was saying is that the characters supposed to be in ZSHL 2 and 3. Funny how their characters got the actors playing the characters. The actors got killed off. Like the actors, my God, can I talk? The actors who were supposed to be in ZSHL 2 and 3, their characters, Rebel Moon, both got killed off. Kind of funny how that worked. So almost like Zack Snyder needs them free to do other projects. Just saying, things are definitely happening right now. Things are definitely happening. I'm getting the Snyder Cut vibes all over again. See, I think the reason why I think Cell had so much of better success than Restore is that it has one thing in common with the Snyder Cut. It feels like there's more of a clear-cut goal on what's supposed to happen. With Restore, I felt like there's so many different projects, so many different hashtags. Whereas with Cell, it's just clear and concise. We want ZSJL 2 and 3 on Netflix. Like, that's our goal. That's our main goal. If we get that, we win. Core kicking ass. And see, it's so satisfying to see her actually. Well, actually, I don't know if she quite did that yet. So I'll shut up for a minute. Because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen this. So. Oh, you think you can kill Cora that easily, Noble? Think again. I love this right here. Get her! Get him! Get him! Get him! Ooh, that definitely hurts. See, it's so much more satisfying seeing her break his little baton thingy after he used it to kill people, especially Eris's father and Sindri. Yeah, he's definitely part human because those are definitely human bones. That's why I think he's just a human with some robot implants. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. See, it's like the teeth too. You notice with the teeth a lot more. It's more fitting now because you saw all these teeth getting knocked out. So it's like, no, Noble deserves it. Poor Milius going through survivor's guilt right now. And hey, they took down a whole fleet. Wise words, Turok. And that's the thing, because I mean, yeah, survivor's guilt. I mean, I can't really speak on that because I've never been in that situation, but honor the sacrifice that they made. That's the way I look at it. Good throw. I would have missed. I totally would have missed. I mean, like, the effects of this movie are so good. I mean, yeah, I'm glad I saw at least the studio cuts in theaters, both of them. Would have been nice to see the director's cuts in theaters, but at least I saw the studio cuts. And that's what I'm saying. There's just so much that can happen with Zack Snyder on Netflix. And again, we got Netflix Geek Week coming up, and I just kind of suspect, I'm just saying, my speculation is that maybe we could possibly get a ZSJL 2 and 3 announcement. Things are happening behind the scenes. All of a sudden, the trades are being more... See, okay, I love that scene that... Hold on real quick. Just that added scene earlier where they're fighting while waiting for the Blood Axe. They're arguing, and Tarek's like, never did trust that pilot. Just got a little bit when Kai threw shade at him. So, love that. But anyway, just saying, with Netflix Geek Week coming up, I'm just saying, we could be getting an announcement. Stuff is happening. The trades are being more positive now. We're getting articles covering Cell more positively now. I don't know all these official trades, but just... I'll try to go to the Egyptian theater. I'll try. Unfortunately, my schedule is already pretty tight as it is, especially since the Chinese theater wants me to buy and stop there twice. Just don't get that stupid business model, but... Ever heard of computers? See, I like that they show the Hawkshaws here because it's in the studio cuts. You see them once watching the ship take off. So I like that you see a little bit of payoff with that. But yeah, I'm going to try, Josh. I'm going to try. Just, again, it's kind of a tight schedule, unfortunately, I have. But we'll see. We'll see. Titus, you're not wondering, you know. But just seeing, like, Netflix, how great Netflix is treating Zach. Just seeing, like, you can really see what Netflix and Zach can do with ZSJL 2 and 3. Finish the story. But that's what I'm suspecting. We are going to get an announcement soon. I'm confident we're getting a ZSJL 2 and 3 announcement this year. I am very confident we're getting that announcement soon. So, as they say, faith, Alfred, faith. But There's Jimmy. Oh, what are those guys up to? Definitely makes it more of a cliffhanger. Ah, God, I feel bad for those Chalice being enslaved like that. Like, that must be torture. But see, I like that it kind of explains like why the ships sometimes can do that jump and other times they can't. It's limited energy. It's like they did it once, but now they don't have the energy to do it again. I just love seeing. You know, it's kind of funny that like Josh, our review is Odd Writer for the director's cuts. It's going to be about as long as the watch party for this stream. So ironic how that works out. Yeah, it's actually. I think this will. This I think might be slightly longer, but still. I remember so disappointed. Wait, why are they getting Noble? It's like Blood X has to die, but Noble, it seems like he's going to survive. Like, oh, what is that? So Ed Skieran, I wonder who he would be in ZSJL. Well, I mean, again, assuming all these actors get cast for ZSJL 2 and 3. Because remember, it's just 2 more movies, 1 more production back to back, and then the story will be finished. But this is what I really love about Cell, though. Again, it's just so much more of a focus was like Rebel Moon, hyping up Rebel Moon, giving Rebel Moon its day was important for Cell, was an important part of Cell. It was not an afterthought. I know I've said it before, but I think that's really important here. Is that we support all of Zach's projects with Cell. Especially what's on Netflix, because we want Netflix to see that engagement. Yeah, actually, I like that one, Metallo. I could totally see him as Metallo. You know, it'd be funny if Deadpool saw the Calverine again, he could make some joke about him fighting Francis. Plus, we're gonna get Cavill in Rebel Moon. That's what I'm saying. Cavill's also gonna be in Rebel Moon, though. Actually, so I don't know. I guess. Yeah. Well, won't say too much. Actually, don't want to spoil again. I'm sure most people watching this have seen the studio cut or the director's cuts, but I still want to try to do this like you haven't seen it. So. Here you go. Noble's all big and tough. All tough. And then he's with Belisarius. He's all intimidated. Noble. Noble. Be careful. Be careful getting too excited about this. Nope. Wait, Cora did that? I just love the one person Noble's afraid of. Belisarius. Nope. Uh-oh. What up, Sin Havoc? See, just love how much more brutally beaten Noble looks in this cut than the studio cuts. And there we go, directed by Zack Snyder. Hold on a moment. And now, okay, so now Rebel Moon Part 1 is over. So just to kind of give some thoughts on this movie, just overall, I love this movie so much better than the theatrical cut. Hold on, let me just turn these off real quick. I'll still leave them on just for the consistent headphone look. But overall, just a much better than the studio cuts. And just really great movie overall. And it's really important to keep these engagement events for Zack Snyder. For Cell to happen, we got to have the current projects on Netflix of Zack Snyder's to succeed. So it's very important that we keep showing these engagements. It's just a fantastic movie overall. Loved it. And yeah, and thank you for the Curly Ray for stopping by and, doing most of the stream with me. Really appreciate it. And just saying, after seeing this again, just fantastic movie, great action, theatrical film right there on Netflix. Theatrical quality film right there on Netflix. And, I've already kind of gushed over it with Zodwriter and Josh on the review. So check that out if you have not. And, since it's just me, I'm just going to kind of wrap this up right now. Not too much to say. Just, guys, keep going. Keep the engagement. And for me, coming up on this channel is on Sunday will be part 2 of the watch party, or chapter 2. I'm sorry, not part 2. Chapter 2 of the watch party with the Curly Ray should be joining me again, and I think Costello too. So that's the plan right now. That could change, and I'm also going to be talking about my experience meeting Sophia Boutella, aka Cora, as I will be meeting her again this Saturday, and I'll be talking about that experience. So, guys, thank you for those of you who joined me for the watch party. Thanks in the chats, and shout out to the replay crew. And guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great watch parties such as these. Thank you, Josh. And on that note, have a bat-tastic day and have a space-tastic day.